I discovered my wife's family was behind my vicious cyberbullying attack. My wife knew, but she hid it for years. How do I move past this? My 27M marriage is in a really bad spot after a deep breach of trust. I don't know how to recover or how to trust my wife, 30F, again. For some context, we've been together 7 years and married 5. We have a child, 2M. We met at a con. I thought her cosplay was amazing, struck up a conversation, and the rest is history. She's the most loving, unselfish, and decent person I've ever met. Our relationship was never without its challenges. Our biggest obstacle was her family. My presence was unwelcome. They're very close-knit, and if one doesn't accept you, then you're not getting far. There are a few family members who broke away from the pack, but no one hardly acknowledges them. They're no contact and black sheep. I didn't know how my wife's family was, but I did know family was extremely important to her. Her whole upbringing was based on family. So I tried everything in my power to make it work. They didn't really put up with me until our son. Between our wedding planning to shortly before the wedding, I was the target of some relentless and vicious cyberbullying. It got personal. Fake bad reviews polluted my business profile too. It cost me some potential clients. I didn't know where it came from or why. I couldn't find a solution. I'd report, but it'd take a while for anything to be done, or there'd be more accounts coming out for another round. The whole thing impacted my life and my mental health. It took a toll. My wife was incredibly supportive. She was my rock and my best friend. I loved her even more for her care and how she held me down. Then the trolling and everything stopped. I wanted nothing more than to move on. I put it all behind me until the other day my wife confessed that her family was behind the harassment. I didn't believe her at first, but she was serious and showed me proof in their family group chat. It felt like I was right back there again. They were gloating and justifying themselves, saying stuff like, some people gotta learn the hard way, and if he wants to join the fold, here's his initiation. I knew I wasn't their favorite person, but I never realized they hated me and would go to such extremes. I asked my wife when she found out and if she was a part of it. She swore she wasn't and that she'd never do that to me. She claims she didn't initially know it was her family until a few months before our wedding. One of my sister-in-laws, 28F, left a profile on her phone and my wife saw it. She confronted her family and made them stop. I asked why she was telling me everything now. She said it was weighing on her, and she opened up to her eldest sister, 35F, one of the family's black sheep. She threatened to tell me the truth if my wife didn't. Nothing my wife said made it better. She knew for years what her family did and hid it from me. She kept everything quiet. It hurts more coming from her because she knew firsthand my pain. I was pretty numb. My wife was anxious and kept pushing for me to say something. I told her there wasn't anything she could say right now that would make it okay. What she did was no better than her family. They made my life hell, and her first instinct was to cover for them. She started crying and begged me to understand. She said it wasn't like that, and she was trying to make things right with as little damage as possible in men relationships. I wasn't very receptive to her. She wasn't reaching me. I couldn't help her or myself. I told her I needed some time to clear my head. She was against it. She said we could work through this together, but I was firm on space. Space isn't a request she's respected. I'm really trying to understand her side. I'm trying to move past it, but I feel so betrayed. I trusted her more than anyone. I'm my most vulnerable with her. I kept opening up to her about the incident even after she knew the truth. She encouraged me to let it go and not allow it to have any claim on me. I thought she had my best interest in mind. Now I just see it as her attempt to protect her family yet again. I haven't confronted anyone involved. I don't think they're worth it. But I've made it clear they're no longer allowed to see our son until further notice. Now I'm getting texts about how I'm depriving my child of grandparents and aunts over past family spats. One of the hardest parts is the distance from my wife. She's my best friend and partner in every way. Now we're mostly only communicating about our son and other household necessities. She's hurt by my rejection, and she's been crying often. If I'm being unfair to her. I hate all of this. I want to make our marriage work, but I'm questioning our relationship up to now. I'm just really lost. I need an outside perspective. How do I navigate this situation and move forward for my marriage and myself? TLDR, my marriage is in a bad spot. I don't know how to trust my wife again. I was the target of some relentless and vicious cyberbullying for months. It impacted my life and my mental health. I put it behind me until my wife confessed that her family was the culprit. She showed me proof in their group chat. I knew I wasn't their favorite person, but I never realized they hated me. My wife swears she didn't initially know and that she made them stop, but she still hid it for years. She begged me to understand and said that she was trying to make things right for us and our son. I asked for space to clear my head. She hasn't exactly respected that request. I'm really trying to move past it, but I feel so betrayed by her. I don't know if I'm being unfair. I want to make our marriage work, but I'm questioning everything. How do I navigate this situation and move forward for my marriage and myself? Relevant comments. Commenter 1. I think what is bothering me most is that your wife is still not getting it. She doesn't understand how vile her family is, and if they did it once, they could do it again. They took your money, your peace of mind, your confidence. Even though she stopped it, she never told you, leaving you to wonder why and who. And past family spats. It's not like this was a little tiff and they apologized and you won't let it go. I'd suggest therapy for you both, and I don't even know. At the very least, you'll learn how to co-parent together if you can't save the marriage. Maybe a therapist can get her to see how huge this is. OOP. I don't know. It's like my wife's not getting where I'm coming from or just doesn't want to go there. Her family never even apologized. They're making it out like I'm holding grudges. Commenter 2. So her idea of making things right is to lie to you for years, providing cover for the awful people who did this to you? Any decent partner would cut that family off without a backward glance. I am so sorry. OP, you must be reeling. OOP. She said she thought she was protecting me and that she handled the situation with her family. I just don't see anything she did for my benefit. I see it more as she was protecting her family yet again before anything else. Commenter 3. It sounds like she got them to stop as soon as she found out. You wouldn't be wrong to end things over this, but at the same time, I think she was maybe in a hard place as well, because she knew that as soon as you found out, she probably couldn't be close with her family anymore, even if they are pretty terrible. Why do they hate you so much? OOP. Well, one of my wife's siblings said they thought she was settling for me because of age and that she could do better. It felt like once their mind was made up about me, there was nothing I could do. Commenter 4. I couldn't imagine trying to rebuild after that level of betrayal. Has anyone tried to make amends? Take ownership of their actions? She can make excuses all she wants, but it doesn't sound like she's taking accountability. I don't know if I would even be open to continuing. I'd be having a heart-to-heart with my lawyer to see what custody arrangements would look like. OOP. There's been no apology of any kind or acknowledging what they did. They're making it out like I'm depriving them from my son over a minor dispute. Commenter 5. Also realize she didn't tell you because she wanted to. She only told you because someone else threatened to tell you, and she wanted to control exactly what was said. If I were you, I'd want to speak to the other person who knew, i.e. the black sheep. It's such a huge breach of trust. She aided her relatives in trying to destroy your livelihood and self-worth. I can't see any reason why you'd want to remain married to someone who clearly doesn't value you or really love you, and has demonstrated she loves and places her family above you. OOP. I do think I want to talk with the eldest sister too. The reason why I would consider staying is because things weren't always like this between my wife and I. She's not consumed with her family when boundaries are in place. We were better and didn't have secrets from each other. We built a life together. Is OOP's wife the people pleaser? OOP. My wife does tend to play caretaker and fixer to everything and everyone in her family. All boundaries go out the window. Commenter 5. You need therapy. Individuals and couples. Part of why she did what she did is because of familial influence, and she needs to learn how to cut those apron strings. Therapy can help. OOP. I'm open to therapy. Something needs to change. I just wish she wouldn't continue to choose her family at every wrong turn. Update. 1 week later. Thank you to everyone who reached out. I, 27M, wasn't able to reply to everyone, but it was appreciated. It solidified my wake-up call and helped me see I wasn't overthinking. I wanted to give an update. Earlier this week, my wife, 30F, and I were able to regroup and hash stuff out. I was glad I took the space I did because even though this situation is still hurtful and feels like a massive betrayal, I was in a better position to talk. My wife thought I was calling it quits, but I told her we were at a crossroads and needed to talk things out. She apologized for what her family did and her role in it. She said she never intended to hurt me. She had convinced herself she was protecting me from more pain. She realizes now she was largely protecting herself. She admitted she was afraid of telling me the truth because she thought it wouldn't just end the wedding, but that I'd end the relationship. She lost other relationships and friendships over her family. She didn't want to lose me too. Over the years, she wanted to tell me but kept talking herself out of it, and then the cover-up kept getting bigger, and she didn't know how to confess. I told her I didn't agree with her choices, and I wish she had more trust in me and our relationship. I'm in it too. I wouldn't have just ditched her. She asked where we go from here and promised no matter the outcome, there wouldn't be any more secrets between us. I told her I wanted to work on our marriage, but things needed to change. We couldn't survive with her family looming, and I didn't want our son exposed to them. She asked what I needed of her. I was never big on ultimatums, and I don't really consider this as one, but I was adamant that any path of us moving forward together would mean radical boundaries with her family. She was honest that the thought of making this big of a move against her family was scary, but said if it's between them and us/our son, 2M, then she chooses us. Her agreement was major for me because I really didn't know where she'd land if she had to choose. I never wanted to put her in that position, but after everything her family did, I feel there was no other way. The reason I have hope that my wife is being for real is because she sent a text to their group chat stating to stop blowing up my phone and that the no access to our son until further notice is a joint decision she fully supports. I didn't expect that of her. She did it on her own. Of course, they didn't like it. Now she's labeled as disrespectful and ungrateful, and how the black sheep's eldest sister, 35F, and I are poisoning her against them. It was also said, what kind of man takes a woman away from her family over a spat? This isn't a spat, nor do I have anything to prove about manhood. They led a whole campaign designed to ruin my life. Their actions are chilling to me. These are the same people who looked me in the eye with a straight face while everything was going on. This is about protecting my family. My wife has gone low contact. Her family has this mindset that significant others or friends come and go, and it's family who is the constant and where loyalty should be. They can't seem to compute that my wife, our son, and I are the core family. They're an extended family, and they don't have a claim over our son. Being involved with him is a privilege, not a right. I don't know what their exact issue is with me. They only really tolerated me because of our son. When I first met them, one of my wife's siblings, 28F, said they thought my wife was settling for me because of age and that she could do better. They're a very tight-knit group, and if one doesn't take to you, then you're not getting far with the rest. It felt like once their minds were made up, there was nothing I could do. I've long since stopped trying to make sense of any of their reasons. It's a rabbit hole. Our plan is to move to a new area to create a healthier distance, cement boundaries, and have a fresh start. I brought up therapy too. It's something we've been discussing. We'll be officially starting that soon. I think moving away will be beneficial for us. It's something my eldest sister-in-law had advised us on. During the wedding planning, she was encouraging my wife to move and create our own space away from their family's isolating circle. I know my wife is more than just her family. I've seen it firsthand. She shines so bright when away from their influence. That's what I meant when I said she was the most loving, unselfish, and decent person I've ever met. If I'm being honest, I don't know how things will turn out. I'm still hurt, I still feel betrayed, and my wife's facing her own challenges with low contact, but I want to be hopeful. I don't want to close the door. I'm hoping we can heal together. Thank you again to everyone for the support. I found not everything is as isolating as with the majority of my in-laws. It means more than you know. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Dude, I wish you all the best. I hope your wife can keep the no/low contact. OOP. Thank you. It's much appreciated. I'm really hoping this can be a turning point. Commenter 2. I was really relieved to hear that you were moving because this is going to be a very difficult boundary for her to maintain. Hopefully with therapy, time, and physical and emotional space, though she can construct a fortress of a wall around your family. I really hope she doesn't let you down again. OOP. It's my hope that the distance will give her some clarity and help us as a family. Commenter 3. I didn't actually realize how much I was still thinking about the post a week ago until I saw an update and felt relief. Best of luck in therapy. One thought I might add is that the instinct might be to do couples therapy, but you might also find success in family systems therapy. Just know that if a therapist doesn't feel like they're helping, that doesn't mean that therapy won't work, just that this therapist didn't work. Glad you both found the strength to work together and that she found the strength to distance herself from toxic family. OOP. Thank you for the recommendation and the support. I'll research family systems therapy. Commenter 4. Your wife. What kind of wife betrays, puts down, belittles, and lies to her partner? She did nothing to protect you, and only herself. I could never trust her again. If she'll allow that to happen to you, imagine the awfulness your child will experience. OOP. I don't condone my wife's actions, and I'm not deluding myself that any of this will be easy. I'm willing to give our marriage an honest try. Broken trust doesn't mean it can never be regained. We aren't the first couple in history going through a trust crisis. I made a commitment. Marriage requires making a vow for better or for worse. I'm not saying that covers everything under the sun. Of course, there are situations where a parting of ways is needed, but not every case is the same. I made vows to give my marriage an honest try in the bad times.